For those of you who worked on Honda 4 years ago, this news is meant to just give you a little bit of a positive mental boost that your efforts did result in something good. According to one journalist, the first large scale Honda project is now open and will accept its first low income tenants, 800 of them, 813 to be exact, near JFK Airport. And surprisingly, my landlord is the developer. And I was shocked when I saw that. The architect was the architect who redid my lobby in 2020. And it's not going to be near transportation, but the residents will have shuttle service, which was part of the planning process.
Is that will help facilitate some hotel conversions. There may be some more money for the Housing Our Neighbors with Dignity Act, which was passed last year to provide funding for hotel conversions. None of that money has been used yet. That was passed last year, the $100 million, but the legislature may add more money for that. I know that there are a number of hotels on the market, but it's difficult to convert them into housing because of the lack of regulatory relief and the expense of it. But it may still happen. We'll see. California has converted 93 hotels, and they have 6,000 units now that they're working on converting for permanent housing for homeless people because they grabbed the bull by the horns last year and acted. We're still talking about it here in New York.
Might be an opportunity for one of the hotels to convert into a respite hospital.
Yeah, I would be very interested in that because the thing is, hotels can be converted overnight into transitional settings like shelters or respite centers. And so the regulatory relief is not as necessary. If the discussion on respite beds has progressed, I'd be very interested in hearing it.
Oh, Marnie's got her hand raised.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Ted, I wanted to ask you in terms of Hochul's plan. I know Eric Adams wants to, build more supportive housing for the homeless, but out in the outer boroughs. And I know there was an issue because, it takes a lot of, people away from their services. So I just wanted to know what is being talked about in terms of having, hotel conversions or any supportive housing being built, but in the city, so it's close to people's services.
In terms of hotel to housing conversions, the mayor was very specific about doing outer borough hotels. I think that he was, certainly sensitive to the concerns of the Hotel Trades Council, which represents hotel workers. And most unionized hotels are in Manhattan or by the airports. And so I think that, there is a preference among many of us to convert non-union hotels into housing rather than union hotels, because we want to keep those good jobs. We want to keep tourism coming into New York. Most of the hotels are in Manhattan. and so I hope that, when the opportunities present themselves, that we'll be able to judiciously decide project by project what makes sense. Some hotels in Manhattan would be very good candidates for conversion to housing. Some unionized hotels may no longer be viable in the new realities of the economy these days. And I'm hoping that, we'll be able to make those judgments in a reasonable way, and it remains to be seen. But I'm giving this mayor and this governor a chance. I appreciate that they're trying to do something. They're recognizing there's a problem. The governor's increasing Medicaid rates for psychiatric beds, which is a good thing. More outreach teams can be helpful, but I really want to make sure that they have more to offer people on the streets. And 500 safe haven beds is a very good start. So we'll see. I think that there are a lot of advocates that are concerned that the governor and the mayor's plan is mostly about enforcement and not enough about having, appropriate emergency transitional housing like safe havens rather than congregate shelters, and enough permanent supportive housing for people that have, mental health issues and things like that. So we'll see. I mean, I'm choosing to give them a chance, and I hope that they come up with this. They have many of us talking as they were creating the plan, encourage them to make sure that they increase the amount of safe haven beds that would be immediately available to people, so they would be able to not just kick people off the subways, but actually get them an appropriate place for them to stay. And at the announcement, HRA said that they would have 500 new safe haven beds, which is a significant start. And they also talked about expanding supportive housing, which is a more complicated thing because it takes time to build supportive housing. I think the state is making available new scattered site supportive housing, which is, issuing contracts to nonprofits who can go out and rent apartments to provide supportive housing services to people with psychiatric issues and everything. there are some concerns that it's very difficult to find anything to rent these days, even with a voucher and everything. But once again, let's give them a chance and see what they can do. And hopefully they'll be able to prioritize people that are living on the subways and in the streets for this type of housing, because, housing is the answer.